What's up, everybody? MYSTACLES here, and today we're going to be talking about last generation consoles, which one to offer you the best retro experience. We got a lot of ground to cover in this video, so let's get right to it. So the reason I wanted to make this video today is I know a fair amount of people who have a strong urge to play some of the retro games they grew up with, but they really don't want to go through the whole hassle of getting the consoles, getting the controllers, getting the games, getting the memory cards, getting CRTs. You know, there's a whole lot that comes to collecting retro games, and don't get me wrong, but it's not for everybody. So I wanted to make this video to show which console from the last generation is going to offer you the best experience when it comes to retro games. We're going to start off with the digital side. We're going to go all through the physical side. First one we're going to be looking at is the original Xbox.
Adventurous spirit, you can be sure this crew member's definitely the real deal. Interested? Head on over to Electrical and see if sparks fly.
First one we're going to be looking at is going to be the Xbox. So, the Xbox One is pretty much the pioneer when it comes to online gaming. They've got all kinds of different stuff going on with the Xbox Pass, Day One release, EA Pass for Xbox Ultimate. They got a whole lot going on. They got the cross-platform with PC, being able to reach out and play with all kinds of different people. And of course, if we're talking about Xbox One or Xbox One X or S online, we're going to be talking about Halo 2 online. There's a whole lot of attention right now when it comes to the retro modern gaming community, and I understand why. When it first came out, I was on it, everybody was on it. Halo 2 is probably my most beloved online first-person shooter. And for the Gold through Xbox Ultimate, it's going to cost you about $10 to $15 a month. So the PlayStation is definitely the new kid on the block when it comes to online subscription services. They've had the PlayStation Plus for a long time, but now they get the PlayStation Extra, now they get the PlayStation Premium. There's a lot of different things that come with it. What I wanted to highlight is when you get the PlayStation Premium, you also get free access to the PlayStation Classics catalog. That's all the PS1, all the PS2, all the PS3 games. And I believe there's right around 300 throughout all three of those platforms in the PlayStation Classics catalog, plus a whole bunch of different indie games as well that are classic style, not from the Classics catalog, but in a classic style that are unique to the PlayStation Network. And a full subscription to the PlayStation Premium is going to run you about $120 a year.
More Nintendo 64 games are on the way. Pilot Wings 64.
Now moving on to the Nintendo Switch online services / expansion pass. So this thing's been going pretty crazy the last few weeks if you've been keeping up with it. They've had the Nintendo 64 and the NES and the Genesis for a little while now. They're kind of slow with rolling out the 64 games. I think they got about 100 or plus NES games. But one really cool thing to note with all of these different games, there's a bunch of titles in these that are online. You know, that's pretty crazy when we're looking at some NES games, and not to mention GoldenEye coming up, which is going to be a huge thing for Nintendo. So stay tuned to that. And And the fact that all these companies are taking notice that people want to play these games again, not only in higher resolution and better frame rates, but online, competitively, or cooperatively, it's going to mean good things for gamers going into the future.
You can play a selection of Nintendo 64 games and enjoy many more gaming benefits with an active Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack membership. Oh, and there's one more game we should mention.
So moving on to the physical side of things, we're going to start with the Xbox. And there's a whole lot of ports from their old catalog and other, like the Rare Treasure package, the Capcom Fighter package. There's a whole bunch of these ports that go cross-platform. So whatever you're looking for, it's going to be different depending on what console you're looking to collect. Some of them are going to be on all consoles. Some of them are just going to be on the Switch. Some of them are just going to be on the Xbox. One thing you get with the Xbox, you don't get with them backwards compatibility. So the Xbox has 632 Xbox 360 backwards compatible games, and I think it's about 50 or so original Xbox games. As of the filming of this video, it's going to keep going up, especially as there's more and more interest. And really that only covers the standard side of things. Limited run, super rare games, they all have their hand in the cookie jar. And moving on to the PlayStation 4, it's as Xbox when it comes to standard release titles. There's a whole bunch, a very fair amount of ports from the past that came out, AAA releases, standard release on the PlayStation 4. But when it comes to limited releases, PlayStation 4 has a lot more titles than the Xbox One. I don't know if that's just a development thing. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's a Microsoft thing. I don't know. But there's a whole bunch more. If you're looking at limited run, East Asia Assault, super rare games, there's a lot more physical titles on the PS4 than there are on the Xbox One when it comes to retro ports or indie ports. Now, that said, also when it comes to some of the shmups and different higher frame rate running games, the PS4 is also probably going to be your route. If you're really high up on knowing what you're talking about when it comes to these types of games, I'm not that worried about it. I'm a pretty casual shmup player, but a lot of them I heard run better on the PS4 compared to the Switch. And when it comes to the PlayStation Classics catalog, there's a little bit to be desired here compared to what their catalog was on the PlayStation 3 network, but I'm sure it's going to get there. And there's tons of good stuff to choose from here, especially in the PS1 RPG department. You know, lots of good PS2 games, tons of good PS3 games. I really feel like having a premium for $15 a month is a pretty good deal if you don't want to, go and collect them. You just kind of want to go back and replay the highlights that you remember in your childhood playing without having to go get CRTs and consoles and controllers that may or may not work. PlayStation Online Network's got a whole lot going on for you. And the physical library of the PS4's got even more. So when it comes to retro gaming in 2022, don't count the PS4 out.
Hello, and welcome to Indie World.
I'm Mariko.
And I'm Tyler.
We're back with a showcase full of indie games headed to the Nintendo Switch system. Let's dive right in. Launches on Nintendo Switch later this month.
And last but not least, we're going to be moving on to the mighty Nintendo Switch. So when it comes to physical games. Nintendo Switch is outrageous. Over 4,400 physical releases for the Nintendo Switch worldwide. That's crazy. They're online. It's got a whole lot going on. It's just now ramping up. I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot more of that in the months moving forward. And personally, one thing I always liked about the Switch games is that they seem to promote couch co-op play, friends and family play, more than some of the more AAA titles that come out exclusively or unexclusively for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. And when it comes to the finish line in this topic, you're really cutting hairs when it comes down to the PS4 and the Switch. The Switch has got portability. If that means a whole lot to you, I'm sure that's a heavy hitter. I'm not too crazy on portability. I'm always playing it docked anyway. If you're that type of player, maybe the PS4 can be better for you. And that's the big topic of this video. You have to choose what's going to be best for you and how you like to play. Everyone plays differently. Everybody wants to play different things. There's all kinds of different reasons why people choose what they might want to get. Sometimes people were thinking PS4, but they realized their friends were getting Xboxes, and they wanted to play with their friends online. So they ended up getting the Xbox. What I think really what separates the Switch from the pack has got to be its accessories. So when you're coming down to cutting hairs on which one's going to be the best console for retro gameplay, the Switch has got every controller you want to play with. The Switch has got every adapter. You can plug multiple 8 controllers, 8 GameCube controllers into the same console. Having a large physical Switch collection is also going to take up a little bit less room than if you run for a PS4. And if you're looking long term for your game room, that's going to save you. And another big hitter for me for the Switch, which makes a big difference for all these consoles, is going to be longevity. Now, I've had my PlayStation 4 since 2014, 2015 maybe, one of those two. It's been a long time. I've had my original Xbox for a long time, even though the disc drive doesn't work anymore on my original one. But it still lasted a really long time, about a year or so ago. I think I got it in 2015 or 14. I confused those two. But the Switch is still running so strong. It's like the day I got it. And Nintendo's track record when it comes to their consoles breaking down is pretty good. So if I had to choose one of these consoles moving forward to the decades to come, like I have with some of my other consoles in the other room, I'd have to choose this Nintendo Switch. It's got a lot of physical releases. All of the games are actually on the cartridges, at least for now, the filming of this video. And the longevity of the console is super long, and you're going to be able to use almost any controller that you want. So there you have it. It's my opinion on which last-gen console is going to make the best retro experience for you 2022. Of course, I want to know what all of you think in the comments below. I'm MYSTACLES. Stay safe out there.